The Olmec, Maya, and Aztec peoples all inhabited ancient Mesoamerica, but did they know of each other? The Olmecs are famous among Mexico's early civilizations from the period called the Formative, and they were most powerful from 1200 to 400 BC. Toward the end of this period, some Maya cities were already flourishing. By then, we find evidence of Olmec influence at early sites such as Caminaljuyu in what is now Guatemala City, and Izapa on the Pacific coast of Chiapas. If the late Olmec or the following Epi-Olmec civilizations were aware of this rising culture to their east, we unfortunately have no hieroglyphs naming them. When the Maya dominated the Classic period, from 250 to 900 AD, a few texts speak of an ancestral land and mythical language, and Maya historians such as Linda Schele have suggested that these could reference the Maya's Olmec cultural predecessors. Mayan texts tell of a place called Puj, land of cattail reeds, which centuries later the Mexica would call Tolan in Nahuatl. This is to say, Toltec, people of the land of cattail reeds, was a legend and concept centuries before the appearance of the civilization that we now call the Toltec. Classic period Mayan texts about Puj suggest a refined, learned civilization far in the past, similar to Atlantis or Shangri-La. And this is not evidence for existence of Atlantis, only evidence for belief in it. If the Maya had a name for the Olmecs, it would have likely been the people of Puj, land of the cattail reeds. The Aztec case is a paradox because the people they called Olmec were not the people we call Olmec. Book 10 of the Florentine Codex recounts the Aztecs' legendary migrations from the 7 caves of Chicomostoc, with emphasis on an Aztec nation that would become the Mexica of Tenochtitlan. After leaving the land of Tamuanchan, the people who remained included the leader Olmecatl from the land of rubber. His people were thus the Olmec, and Nahuatl history said that they lived in the southeast coast of the Gulf of Mexico, along with the Xicalanga people. According to the Nahuatl accounts, together the Olmeca and Xicalanga invaded central Mexico and controlled the kingdoms of Xochicalco and Cholula up to the 12th century. As people who came from a part of Mesoamerica between central Mexico and the Maya lands, the Xicalanga likely brokered culture exchanges between these two regions. This would explain Maya influences at the central Mexican site of Xochicalco and central Mexican influences at the Maya site of Chichen Itza. As archaeologists were excavating older works from that region, they used the term Olmec from the Nahuatl histories to identify the antique civilization. The Olmecs of modern archaeology predated the Olmecs of Nahuatl history by at least 2,000 years, however. Were the Mexica aware of these people from the distant past? A rare and exceptional example of this comes through this exquisite miniature head, discovered from excavations at the Mexica Great Temple. It was most likely discovered by chance in the earth somewhere near the southern Gulf Coast and given to the Mexica as a ritual tribute from that region. The Olmec were a dwindling society as the Maya were rising to the east. In any case, the Maya of the Classic period reflected on the Olmecs as a former enlightened age, yet by the time of the Aztecs all that was known of them came from occasional pieces of fine art. While the Aztecs used Olmec to speak of a Gulf Coast culture that occupied central Mexico from the 8th to 12th centuries, we in the modern period converted the name's meaning for the peoples who thrived in the southern Gulf region between 1 and 2,000 years prior.